can hear in the airwaves there is Peter Tosh. The song is called Legalize It. We'll keep it up for a bit so you get the nature of this interview. Here's the question. Should the U.S. legalize marijuana now as a response to its increased use, especially among young people? Harry Houston is the director of the government relations issues for the Marijuana Policy Project in Washington. He says, yep, go ahead and legalize it. Aaron, welcome to the program. Good to have you with us. We're a business network. We're not really concerned with the moral implications of legalizing marijuana or otherwise. I'm looking at the financial implications. You want to legalize it, sell it legally, and tax it. My question is, how much revenue do you think you could bring in if you'd made this legalization move?
Well, first of all, this is about several different issues. This is really common sense. Number one, none of us want to see teens using marijuana at a high rate. We don't want to see teens having unfettered access to marijuana. And our goal at the Marijuana Policy Project is to make sure that we have common sense policies that accomplish that.
I got it. I got all the moral and political implications. I got it. But look, I'm interested in the money side of this. State governments, federal governments, they all want revenue. How much would they get? Have you any idea? Have you studied this issue? How much money is going to come in?
Yes, in fact, a study by a Harvard economist released in June of 2005 indicated that if the government were to get out of the business of prohibiting and criminalizing marijuana with a heavy-handed enforcement approach that costs a lot of money and taxed it and regulated it like tobacco or alcohol, we could see revenues on the state and local levels and federal levels to the tune of between $10 to $14 billion per year. And again, don't take my word for it, take a Harvard economist's word for it, and take Milton Friedman's word for it, who endorsed that very same report that showed $10 to $14 billion per year in savings, combined savings and revenues if we were to regulate marijuana like tobacco or alcohol. Additionally,
you got the Marijuana Policy Project in Washington. How would you handle this? Would you have government-run stores selling it, or would you have private enterprise sell it? Would it be available on street corners, in little bodegas on the corner? How would you do it? Just flat out legalize it and make it like tobacco?
Well, saying flat-out legalization is somewhat nuanced, particularly around tobacco, because there are strict controls on tobacco. Additionally, there are some bills moving through Congress right now that would impose additional controls on the regulation of tobacco, particularly putting it under the ambit of the FDA's authority. We are not entirely certain what this would look like because, of course, the federal government has gotten in the way of any kind of common sense reforms to this absolute prohibition and criminalization of marijuana. But I can tell you, we wouldn't want it in the hands of kids. We'd want to make sure that it is strictly regulated, that it's not sold around schools, and that we have strict controls on it because we don't want it falling into the wrong hands. But as you can see from the comparison to tobacco, teen use rates of tobacco, drug dealers don't have signs on their walls that say "weak hard."
Aaron, I know we're going to get a lot of emails on this, directed to Varney@foxbusiness.com, but we appreciate you being with us, Aaron Houston. Thanks for joining us. Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Looking again at the price of oil, got to take a quick look at it because it's rallying to